Hello, I'm Jenny Parker, and in this short video we'll have a look at the requirements for Task 3B, your personal website and blog. On screen you can see the example e-portfolio that I created at the beginning of the semester for Task 1A. Since then I've added to this example and it now contains information about all of the tasks that you're required to do in this unit. Let's have a look at the marking rubric to see whether we've addressed all of the criteria. The first criteria is related to the website content. In order to get a high distinction, you need to make sure that all the content in your website is appropriate and related to the unit. It should have excellent extensive evidence of all unit tasks. It should also have a resources page. And to gain a high distinction, you need to have further relevant educational work as well. So this might be examples of assignments, etc., that you've finished in some of your other units during the semester. Inappropriate or non-unit related content refers to pages about your personal life, your family, your pets, or things you might do on the weekends. In order to get a high distinction, you need to make sure that it is a professional learning e-portfolio. We're not going to be reassessing the content of each of your pages. We're just going to be looking at the overall presentation and to check to see if it is all there. Homepage, Task 1B, which was the social learner, and you can see I've got lots of information on the page about that. Task 2, researcher, yes, got information and files and screen captures and everything about that one. And Task 3A, teacher, this is the group project, so there's a bit of an introduction about what that is, and then there's a screen capture of the wiki page there. And the resources page is 3B, this final one, and links to useful resources. And on this last page, more information, I've created a section here where I can refer to other units that I could have undertaken throughout this semester. So I think I have appropriate content, extensive evidence of all the tasks, the resources page, and my relevant educational. So for that particular marking criteria, I would give myself a high distinction. The next criteria is the website presentation. Again, for a high distinction, we want a creative, imaginative, quality website that shows evidence of significant time and effort beyond the requirements of the task with a very effective layout. So if we just go back and have a look at the layout, similar layout on all the pages, so it's a consistent look and feel across all of the pages, quite professional looking. It focused on the unit and the teaching and the tasks that I was learning. So yes, I would say it's fairly high quality. Maybe in this instant I might not say that it's imaginative and significant time and effort beyond, so I'm going to give myself a distinction for this particular one. I think it does show evidence of thoughtful engagement in its creation and it has an effective layout. The next criteria is about the visuals. So again, we want high quality visuals, and any third party material that's used needs to be acknowledged correctly and hyperlinked back to the original materials. I have an image here on the home page which has a caption under it that shows the in-text reference, and at the bottom of that page it has the full in-text reference in APA format. The picture of myself I haven't had to reference because it's my own picture. We've got lots of links that link back to where they come from. This Shelfari image here actually does link straight back to the Shelfari. It's actually a widget, not an image. The researcher task has AuthorStream PowerPoint, and again that was created by myself, so I don't need to copyright that particular one. The screen capture of my EndNote is my EndNote library, so it doesn't require a reference. And the EndNote reference types is another PowerPoint that I created, so again no reference is required there. Task 3A, again the image is just a screen capture of the page that I created on the wiki, so there's no third party resources used there. Same with the resources page. Links do not need to be referenced. So they're not information on my page. They take you outside my website back to somewhere else. And the YouTube videos already have an automatic link to watch it on YouTube. So they are referenced that when you click on it, it will take you to where that video came from. So again, they don't require a in-text and end-text referencing. More information. There is a few pictures here that I put on the page, and again they have an in-text reference. Both of them are Creative Commons licensed, and if you click on the image it will take you to where I downloaded that image from. And at the end of the page you can see the references for both the images, and there's also references for the material that I've referenced, the third party at the beginning. I've taken some introductory information from both of those units and I've put an in-text reference and an end-text references for that information on the page. So everything's referenced correctly and the quality was quite good, so I'm going to give myself a high distinction for that one as well. The next criteria is to do with your links and resources. To get a high distinction for this one, we need to have many links and resources provided on a dedicated page, grouped and annotated with consistent descriptions and visuals. Let's go to our resources page. I've got lots of resources that are all linked. I have annotated links, so they're not going just HTTP, www, they're actually describing what that is going to be. So I have the links grouped under useful resources, which are general resources, and then Diigo, Google Docs, Skype, screen captures, and some specific teaching resources and some about copyright. So dedicated page grouped with consistent descriptions and visuals. So the description of the annotated link here tells you where you're going to go. However, I haven't elaborated on all of them like I did down here in the teaching resources section. So, I might be a bit wavering between the many links on the dedicated page grouped and annotated with brief descriptions. Although I do have visuals as well, so I'll probably give it a high distinction, but it would be the low end of the high distinction, the 8 rather than the 12. Let's look at the final one. Well written with only occasional spelling grammar errors. So again, we would come back to each of the pages and just have a look at the overall look of the spelling and grammar. Make sure there's no lowercase i's. It's just at a quick glance, it's looking pretty good. If we do pick up some typos, then that will drop it down a little bit. So far I haven't come across one, but I am doing rather a quick scan. Go back into my rubric. So excellent and descriptive writing with minor or no spelling and punctual errors, or very well written with occasional. Because I've done such a quick skim on that, I'm just going to be erring on the lower side and giving myself the lower result for that. So when you've finished updating your website and making it look as nice as you can, you need to make sure that you come to the rubric and have a look at that yourself. Decide, do you have the extra resources page? Do you have the further relevant work? Do you have evidence of significant time and effort beyond the requirements? Do you have high quality visuals, and have you acknowledged all your third party? Do you have a dedicated resources page, or are they just simply spread throughout the website, in which case you'd be getting a pass instead of a high distinction? And have a look at your spelling and punctuation and see if you think that you meet the highest criteria, because that's what you should be aiming for. And of course, besides your website, the final criteria on that is your blog. So you need to also go to the blogging rubric and recheck that. We have spoken about it quite a bit throughout this semester. There's various areas that you need to make sure you address: content, attitudes and feelings, learning strategies, networks and communication, your visuals and links, presentation and writing. If you've addressed all of those areas and not just made a statement about them, but actually talked about how and why and what you did, then you should do reasonably well. So make sure you do include some links and some images. Think about what you've learned throughout the semester. Make sure you have a number of blog posts. You should have been writing at least 2 a week, and you've had about 4 weeks, so I would expect there'd be at least 8 to 10 blogs for us to be able to give you a decent review. When you think about it, the difference in authentic learning is whether you're waiting to be taught or willing to learn.